The House has voted decisively to force the Chinese-backed owner of TikTok to sell the popular app over national security concerns, effectively banning it from the U.S., despite intense lobbying from the chairman of the company and protests on the app from many of its 170 million American users. President Biden says he would sign the legislation if it passes, but it faces an uncertain future in the Senate, despite support from the bipartisan leaders of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner and Marco Rubio, who have long argued that China gains too much intelligence, too much influence from TikTok, and has, in fact, according to the Worldwide Threat Assessment, influenced the 2022 election. Today, China's government accused the United States of bullying behavior and leveraging state power against the company. Joining me now, Elissa Slotkin, Congresswoman who voted for the bill, a Michigan Congresswoman, former CIA officer, now a Congressman and a candidate for the Senate there. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us. So, if you were a senator, presumably you would also vote to ban. What about the free speech issues that so many Democrats, well, 50 Democrats in the House, I think, voted, against banning it, and against the small business owners, the others who were advantaged by TikTok?
Yeah, so to be clear, I think most of us, we don't want a ban. We just want the Chinese Communist Party to not be, affiliated with the ownership of this thing that has 170 million Americans, data. And it's not like data isn't collected by Facebook and, X or Twitter and all that kind of stuff. It's that the affiliation with the Chinese regime means that they are not subject to the same laws and regulations and accountability. And I think all you need to do is look at how they've been, using their users in the country to lobby Congress, right? We're all getting all these calls from kids as young as 9. And what they did is they sent a push message to every single user in the United States. They geolocated every one of those users, figured out who their specific member of Congress was, and then say, here's your member of Congress's specific phone number. Click here in the app and and lobby them. And we're getting all these calls from very, very young users without their parents knowing. So they've got the geolocation data of everyone. They've got the facial recognition of everyone. And again, lots of social media companies have it. I just don't want it in the hands of a company that is so intertwined with the Chinese Communist Party. So sell it. Sell it, and Steve Mnuchin and others have already come forward saying they're interested.
Well, let me just unpack that a little bit, because it really effectively is a ban. It would take a long time to unwind, but any sale at this point would be a ban. Supposedly, they would lose the algorithms that are what helps them do all these geolocating and target people. At the same time, people might raise questions about Steve Mnuchin, saying that he would bring Americans to it. We know where he was and, who started his $1.5 billion, hedge fund. That was from the Emiratis and other people in the Gulf. So, once you try to track down where all the foreign money is in that world, it's not that easy. But in any case, wouldn't it in effect be a ban? The chairman certainly got on TikTok last night and said it would be a ban.
No, it would be a sale, and it's not the first company that would have to sell. Would have to sell, its parent company. Grindr is another social media company that had to sell, had Chinese ownership. So it's not unprecedented. Most of us, look, I'm a candidate, as you said, for Senate. Most of us want TikTok to be available, right? You don't think I have nieces and nephews and staff who are on TikTok who love it? Of course, I don't want to ban it. I just don't want the Chinese government controlling that data. I'm someone who's a former CIA officer and Pentagon official. I don't want them having facial recognition information on everyone who's going to be in our military or in the intelligence community. I don't want them to be able to send push messages of propaganda to vote or not vote to 170 million users. If this was controlled by Sweden or controlled by a company in Palo Alto, then they'd be subject to the rules and regulations of the Western world. But the Chinese government, the Chinese Communist Party, makes the rules and also has a strong affiliation with this company. So it's not that we want a ban. We wanted them to sell that parent company so they don't have our kids' data.